The United Nations says the war in Gaza has led to a stark increase in the number of households experiencing severe hunger. Over the weekend, World Central Kitchen paused its operations after an airstrike on a vehicle killed some of its workers. The IDF said that it was targeting a terrorist who allegedly worked for the aid organization. 7 World Central workers were killed in an April attack that Israel later called a mistake. The IDF has said in the past that it's committed to not harming civilians. Now the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, is pausing delivery of aid through the main crossing into Gaza, saying it's too dangerous. This comes as UNRWA's head of philanthropy says his brother, who ran a soup kitchen, was killed by an Israeli airstrike on Saturday morning. Henny Al-Madhoun joins us now. Henny, thank you so much, and our condolences for the loss of your brother. Let's start out just by asking you tell us about Mahmoud.
Mahmoud is my baby brother. He's 33 years old, and his birthday was around the corner at the end of this month, and he was targeted in north of Gaza. He does not deserve to be killed. He's a humanitarian. He was cooking hot meals for the local hospital and has been doing so for the last 400 days. And he did not deserve to be robbed from us and from his 7 kids. He has been running the Gaza soup kitchen in the ground in North Gaza, doing a heroic work, delivering water, cooking meals, and just giving people hope in north of Gaza where the famine is too real.
As far as you know, what happened on the day he died?
Well, we have an eyewitness account. 9 a.m. he left the house to go check up on Kamal Adwan Hospital, where he is delivering produce that morning. And then 30 yards outside the shelter, he was targeted by an Israeli drone that killed him and only him. He's a full-time civilian. He's my brother, and he's been supporting the North, trying to help the community as they face this nightmare in Gaza. And we believe he was targeted because he was helping people with food and water, which means they can stay in north of Gaza, an area that's been under complete siege and attacks for the last 60 days.
You also work for UNRWA, which paused aid through a main crossing because of security concerns. What dangers are you coming up against?
Yeah, on behalf of UNRWA USA, where I work, this is the largest humanitarian actor. It is the backbone of the humanitarian response in Gaza. Unfortunately, because of the conditions created in the ground by the Israeli military, humanitarian workers don't feel safe, not just physically attacked, but also the aid is being stolen by organized criminals that may have connections with the Israeli army. This is wrong. People are not involved. They're civilians. They should not be put in this dangerous situation.
Your brother was a father of 7, as you mentioned. How are his children holding up?
Well, his first son, Omar, has been injured 3 days before his dad, so he's recovering. He may lose sight of his eye and his groin area. So we're worried about his daughters, are trying to make sense of this.
Israel's parliament voted in October to ban UNRWA from operating within Gaza and the West Bank, which would go into effect next year. How are you preparing for the possibility of this not being overturned by a higher court?
This is a real challenge and a real concern. This is a short-sighted decision. UNRWA has been cleared by 2, not by 1, 2 independent UN investigations that said there is no evidence to support Israeli claims. They've asked anybody with evidence to provide this. Despite this, there is an organized and well-orchestrated and deeply funded effort to damage UNRWA and spread misinformation. Look, 60% of the aid in Gaza right now is being brought by UNRWA. There is no replacement for UNRWA. There is no other respectable NGO stepping up to say we can do UNRWA's job.
Can you give us a sense? We obviously see little snippets in the news of what life is like in Gaza right now, just about how concerned you are for the people who are there.
So my parents are there. It's a struggle because they're in their 70s. My mom has to manage her diabetes. My dad is not okay in the mental space. We're concerned for him because he got hurt as well in a quadcopter attack. There are no meat in Gaza. There is no produce. There is a lot of limitations. One banana in Gaza now brings $15. Can you imagine just one banana? One potato is a $10, and this is because aid is not allowed in, and there is disruption, intentional disruption in the aid delivery, and it's not complicated. This is really The Israeli military fully controls Gaza. They can get these organized criminals to stop. Somebody has to be held accountable for this. My parents do not deserve this treatment.
Hani Al-Madhoun, once again, we are so sorry for your loss and all that you continue to endure. We should mention that we've reached out to the IDF for more information, but have not heard back.